Hi everyone, this is Niraj Shrestha, a registered migration agent, and I've been providing immigration assistance since 2007. So I have over 16 years of experience as a registered migration agent, and I'm from Classic Migration, which is based in Canberra. Today, I'm going to talk about getting your engineering qualification assessed from Engineers Australia. Well, you must be wondering why you need your skill to be assessed by Engineers Australia. So if you have your qualification from overseas, then, and if you are intending to come to Australia, or if you're intending to migrate to Australia, you must get your qualification, your work experience, and your skill assessed by Engineers Australia. So if you are thinking of applying under GSM, so it could be 189, could be 9190 or 491, or even if you're intending to apply under employee sponsors visa, which is 186 and 494, then you must get your skill assessed by Engineers Australia. So how can you apply to get your skill assessed? The next question is, how can you apply to get your skills assessed? So the first thing is that one of the things that very important before you apply for engineering assessment is, where did you get your qualification from? Whether you got it from Pakistan, you got it from Sri Lanka, or you got it from India. And the other question is whether that qualification was accredited, and whether it is recognized by under one of the different accords. Well, Engineers Australia recognized 3 different accords, which are Sydney Accord, Washington Accord, and the Dublin Accord. And lastly, the important thing is, when your qualification was accredited, then whether that, the institution was, whoever that institution was accredited with any organization, and that organization, whether it was a full signatory to the accord. So these are the 3 important things you need to know before you applying for a skill assessment, because based on that, and then you will have a clear pathway whether you can apply under any of those accords, or if your qualification was not recognized, then probably you need to go through a different pathway. The Engineer Australia recognizes, they assess the qualification under 4 different categories. One is professional engineers, so which means you must have completed at least 4 years of engineering degree, and of course you must have bachelor degree equivalent to Australia's bachelor. Another criteria is engineering technologist, which is of 3 years engineering degree, and that is also a bachelor degree. And for that to be assessed as an engineering technologist, you must have completed at least 3 years of your engineering degree. But if you have only 2 years of your engineering degree, which is equivalent to diploma or associate degree, then you can apply as an engineering associate. But if your engineering degree doesn't fit on any of those criteria, then you can still apply as an engineering manager. So these are the 4 categories which you can choose before you apply for skill assessment. Guys, as I mentioned above, there are different pathways under which you can choose to get your degree assessed. So whether you have completed your degree from Australian institutes, which is recognized by Engineers Australia, that's one pathway. The another pathway could be whether it is accredited by Washington, or whether it is accredited by Sydney Accord or Dublin Accord. And if your qualification is not accredited by any of those accords, then you can choose a different pathway, which is called competency demonstration report. So which is, mainly the qualification that people get from different countries, but they are not signatories, they are not accredited to any of those categories. I have assisted many people under this pathway, and that's where a lot of work involves before you apply for getting your skill assessed. So the CDR, which is competency demonstration report, so it's all about showing your engineering degree and what you obtained, what you personally received after the completion of your degree. So CDR mainly consists of 3 episodes, 3 career episode, we call it career episode, competency demonstration report, and continuing professional development. Of course, you need to provide a lot of other documents like your passport size photos and your resume. And one of the things that you must submit at the time of application is your IELTS. You must obtain at least 6 in each band. But if you got your degree from Australian institutes, which is of at least 2 years course, then you are exempt from giving your IELTS. And also if you are the citizen of USA, UK, and Ireland or New Zealand, then you do not need to provide your IELTS result. Well, these are the few, and if you've been working as an engineer, whether you've been working as a civil engineer, a mechanical engineer, or chemical engineer, then you must obtain a statement of service from your employer. Well, there is a guidelines which says how you make the statement of service and what's to be included in your statement of service. So I'm not going on to that part, but today I'm mainly focusing on the 3 career episodes which you personally need to write, and your competency demonstration report, which is summary statement, and finally your continuing professional development. While talking about the episode, this episode summarizes what your qualification is, what did you, actually how did you use your engineering degree, and when you were working as an engineer, whether you're working as a hydraulic engineer or civil engineer or an electrical engineer, what problems did you encounter at work? And how did you resolve these issues? Which engineering degrees or principles did you use to address that particular issues? So the career episodes is all about your work. It's not we, it's I. What I did, even though you worked in a team, how did you contribute to the team? Probably you might have done some research, you might have done some thesis, or you might have done a team work where you have been assigned to complete a number of things. And while working on that project, you may have encountered a number of issues. And the career episode, the Engineer Australia wants to look at how you contributed to the team. Even though the whole team may have worked to achieve that particular project, but they want to look at what was your role and what you personally identified and what did you contribute to the team. That's what the career episode is. So you always use, I have encountered while I was doing this problem, while I was doing this project, I encountered such and such issue, but then I used that particular engineering degree which I obtained while I was studying this, the engineering degree, and I resolved the issue. That's what the Engineer Australia wants to see, because since your qualification is not recognized, and they want to see how competent you used your qualifications as an engineer in order to address that particular issues. So there are 3 career episodes, and remember, those career episodes could be from while you're studying your course, because you might have done while you're completing your course, you might have done thesis, you might have done some group projects, and what was the project? So you can pick from those assignments. Or if you are, you've been working for a while, say 5 or 6 years as an engineer in different companies, then you can use the task that was given to you. And what was the task? What was the project? What was the, your role within that, flow diagram, and what you needed to obtain. So that is what you need to show. And each career episode must be 1,000 to at least 1,000 to 2,500 words. So once you completed all your 3 different episodes, as I mentioned, it could be from your work, it could be from your academics while you were completing your study, your bachelor study. So you can pick from either experience, or some people they pick up from their work experience. They pick up while they encounter during the work. But if you are a fresh graduate, then of course you have to pick something from your thesis, from project, from your assignments, whether it's a group assignments, whether it is an individual assignment. You can still pick up the things from that different areas, and you can submit the applications to get your skill assessed. The another important thing is, it's called the competency, the summary statement. So this is where the Engineers Australia have categorized the competency on different topics, and that's where they want to see you, how competent you are, and what did you use while writing the episode. So you have to fill up that form, because once you familiarize with that the summary statement, then you will have a clearer idea what actually you need to include in your summary statements. So these are the 2 important things. And finally, the continuing professional development. So you might have finished your bachelor back in 2019, and since then you have been working as an engineering technologist or as an engineer manager. But then what did you do to improve your skills? What did you do to enhance your knowledge in engineering? Because things can change all the time. So you might have participated in a seminar, you might have attended the workshop, or you might have published your books. So this is the summary of what actually you did after you finished your degree. And that's what Engineers Australia want to look at when you're writing the CPD. And you all need to mention is, when was the training, how long was the training, and who organized this training. That's something they need to look at, and that's what you need to submit. So how can you submit? Yes, it can be submitted through online portal, but you have to create your EAID. And of course, we as a migration agent help a lot of applicants to submit the application on your behalf. So in terms of the fees, well, the minimum fee starts from 1,020, but then again it depends on what actually you are trying to achieve, whether it's just a qualification or you want to get your both qualification and work experience assessed. So it depends on what you're actually trying to do. And the good news is the Engineers Australia, you can apply by fast track pathway as well, where the Engineers Australia will allocate the case officer within 20 days after submitting the application. And of course there will be extra fees if you choose to go through fast track pathway. So within a month the case officers will be allocated, and if there is any insufficient information, if your career episode doesn't reflect the things that you actually did, then they will come back to you and they can ask further questions regarding your competency. So that's how you do it. How do you get your skill assessed? And the thing is, even if your skill assessment is not successful, then you can still apply for review. Well, we'll talk about that later on, but for now, I have mostly focused on that CDR pathway, where I've had many engineers, more than 15 engineers, to get their degree assessed by CDR pathway. Thank you.